Bismillah Rahman Rahim. I start in the name of God, whose mercy is profound and kindness is forever. The main objective of our series Aspire to Inspire is coming from a very spiritual desire and a need to help people to help themselves. So the whole series is inspired by people, those who have done good for themselves. They're successful not only professionally, but also as individuals and have set up an example for generations to come. The youth can get inspiration from their stories. And let me present Mr. Khalid Al Khaja. Mr. Khalid Al Khaja is Emirati. He's from UAE. He's an engineer by profession. He has studied from America. He has done his engineering from there. Mr. Khalid Al Khaja has 30 years of tremendous experience in various organizations, in various portfolios. He's a former Deputy Chief Nuclear Officer at NAVA and former Executive Vice President of Projects and Engineering Division in Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. Currently, he's a freelancer and an entrepreneur in critical infrastructure. So let me welcome Mr. Khalid Al Khaja on my show, Aspire to Inspire. Mr. Khaja, welcome on my show, Aspire to Inspire. Thank you very much for accepting my offer. And I'm highly, highly obliged for your kind gesture to accept this invitation. Accept my thanks and gratitude.
Come on, it's an honor.
Seriously, how I know you forever.
It's an honor of mine.
So basically, Mr. Khaja, the whole journey of Aspire to Inspire is coming from my spiritual quest to leave something behind as a sadqa jariya, as an act of continuous charity for young generation who needs lots of guidance. And there are very limited resources, especially in this part of the world, and coming from highly skilled and professionally qualified technical Emirati person with over a period of 30 years of experience in the critical infrastructure field. A person like you studied from USA, engineering qualifications, and then you started your career as a management graduate training from Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. And how you started from the trainee to senior engineer to engineer, senior engineer, then manager roles, and you ended up achieving one of the highest positions, which is executive vice president. And you have also worked with nuclear power plant, and you have done it all. And who's better than you to guide young Emiratis and people, those who want to add value to this critical infrastructure field? So welcome on my show. And please, now I would like to ask you, Mr. Khaja, what made you, say yes to my invite? What is that thing that inclined you to accept this offer of having this conversation with me?
Well, hello everyone. What drives you to do this program is exactly what drives me to accept the invitation. Exactly the same. We have the obligation to leave something for the younger guys.
True.
They don't have to redo our mistakes. I've done a lot.
Absolutely.
Why they should repeat them? And I want them to learn and to start from where I ended. In a way, I'm leaving this also for my boys. I have 3 boys. I would like them to see this and learn from it. And I have this habit of writing articles from time to time, just to leave them how I was thinking. A person at 54 years old, they are in 20s. And how they see it and how I see it, I want them to see how I see life after all these years. Hopefully, it will be useful for them. No obligations. They don't have to accept it, but it's there for them.
At least, yeah. I meditate a lot these days, and this was in my intuition to find out somebody at a stretcher who's working at a stretcher like yours and come forward and add this journey so that we can do together something for the younger generation. And your name came and popped up immediately in my head. It was my gut feeling. I called you, and here we go. Mr. Khaja, when we worked together, I was in Projects and Engineering Division. how I remember you as a person who is very modest, sober, well cultured, well groomed, a man with $1 million wisdom coin. Tell me how you would like to be remembered and how you wish that people remember you forever.
As a role model, I want to be remembered as somebody who said and walked his talk. That's very important. I want to be remembered that I'm a person that I said and I did. And that's very rare to find, unfortunately. We see a lot of people talking, but then doing something else. I don't want that. And it's not easy. Man of integrity, absolutely. And that's exactly what we miss in this life nowadays. Where is integrity around us, unfortunately? And wherever you find it, hold on to it. It's a precious gift. You must do that. If as a society we want to improve, we have to walk the talk and be honest and sincere and direct sometimes.
A question. On a happiness scale, 1 being not at all happy and 10 being happiest, on a life happiness scale, how much marks you will give it to your happiness state?
I mean, maximum 8. Maximum. Maybe lower.
Why not 10?
I cannot be happy unless everyone around me is happy. Mm-hmm. Alone, I am happy. If I'm selfish for a moment, I'm 10 round.
Okay.
But I'm 8 and even lower because I have to see everyone and everywhere around me okay. With what's going on around me, I cannot be 10.
All right. So what you think has to happen for you to feel 10?
I would like to see peace everywhere. People living peacefully everywhere. I would like to see kids everywhere going to schools and not being taken away from the school because of wars. I would like people like me to have reliable power and water, simple things in life. I would like them to be safe. I don't like what's happening in Iraq, in Syria, in Libya, in Yemen. I would like people to live peacefully. It will be quite selfish of me to not see all of that and live happily. If that happens, I would like Europe to be extremely happy. They are struggling as well. True. Japan is extremely happy, have its own struggle. I wish all these struggles go away and I see everyone living happily. India, I wish it's a neighboring country. I wish that they are just happy and settled and satisfied and coexisting easily. That's what I want.
On this note, Mr. Khaja, I want to share with you a book by Bronnie Ware, which is a very famous New York bestseller, and it talks about 5 regrets of dying people. Right, and this woman, she had worked 40 years in a ICU ward as a nurse, and when she retired, she wrote a book, and those top 5 regrets, the top one was, I wish I allowed myself to be more happier. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I spent time with the people who I really loved and cared for, and so on and so forth. So do you have any regrets at the moment right now? If you look back on your life and you introspect, do you have any regrets?
Yes. In my earlier life, when I was a student in the United States, I didn't socialize with the Americans as much as I should have. Absolutely. I mean, I have two regrets. And I've taught that lesson to my boys. And I've said, don't make my mistake. Socialize with other cultures wherever you go. Learn. I missed a lot. I was there actually for 5 years, but I can tell you, in reality, I lived 6 months out of those 5 years. The rest, I was with my own community, my own people, Arabs. I was not mixing with the Americans.
And the reason
was? I really lost. That's what I was doing. And I totally regret that. And I have told my boys not to do that mistake. And that's why purposely I often invite non-UAE national friends from all over the world home. and expose them to my family, to my boy and my wife, to get them used to mix with others. I was not taught to do that. I was taught here to mix with my own people. I didn't really mix with others. That's why I was a little reluctant to mix with other people. And the cultures were different. And I am coming from a very conservative family. So mixing with a non-conservative society was a bit also difficult for me. The second regret was that I didn't spend much time with my boys as they were growing up, because I was focusing only on work. I focused very less on religion. I focused very less on family. I focused very less on my bigger family. My parents, my brothers and sisters. Okay, that got me the opportunity to become the executive vice president, as you said, but I was not really balancing it. But I corrected all of that after 2015.
You are now making up? Now you're making
Absolutely. Yeah, I resigned from ENIC because of that, to spend the last 3 years with my parents before they passed away, and I didn't regret it. I was there every day with them, compensating and working as a consultant part-time here and there, but I was with them full-time. And ever since also, I am more with my boys. I interact. I know much more now what's going on. And I'm there for them. I am there for them. Every day I enjoy it. They come back from work and they say, you know what, today this happened. And this is what I was told. And this is what I said. What do you think? Let's talk about it. And then we start talking. And often they are about to make a mistake. And I correct them. And that feels good. I feel good that I'm saving him in a way. I'm saving him the
guiding.
The time. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Like I said about Chanakya, he said intelligent people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from others' mistakes. So I'm sure they have a lot to learn from you. So let's say if today is the day and we know that, okay, this hour I'm going to just leave this planet Earth and going to go in different dimension. So you think that you're ready? Having no regrets, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful place to be in. What was your childhood dream always when you were a teenager or maybe before that?
When I was a child, I had this dream of becoming a pilot. The dream of every child. You know, a pilot walking in front of you with his uniform. It was so attractive, and airplanes flying in the sky. I always wanted to become a pilot, but I never became a pilot. Luckily, I didn't become a pilot. I don't want now.
Because?
It's not a life. That's not life. I mean, it's nice to do it for 1 day, 2 days, but then to fly. And I know pilots. They're not happy people. I know some of them. They're not happy people. It's a very tough life. It's not easy. It's just like working in a power plant on a shift work. It's not easy to be on shift.
It is not.
It's very stressful. And the second dream I had is to become a religious clerk.
What
because
is
of a dream I had.
Clerk? What does it mean?
A sheikh, a mullah.
Okay. Mutawwa. Really?
A mutawwa, an official mutawwa, wears those turbans. And why?
Where there
because
was something from?
It came because I was 7 years old. I dreamed of Prophet Muhammad, and I told my dream to my family next day. Some of them, my father was looking at me with a smile on his face. My brother was mocking me, saying, "Come on, that must have been shaitan. You cannot see Prophet Muhammad." And then my mother was the biggest supporter, and he said, "Wow, that's good. I think you are going to be a sheikh one day." And that stuck in my head. My mother said it, and for some time I was saying I want to become a sheikh. And then my bigger family started reacting to it and saying, "Are you crazy? What do you mean this? You become an engineer, become a doctor. What is this becoming a sheikh? No, forget about it." And they convinced me. They really convinced me. My mother kept calling me sheikh until she died.
Oh, that's so sweet of her.
That was my name with her. Sheikh is here, sheikh. And she means a religious sheikh. She doesn't mean, like like Al Maktoum. No, she
Yeah,
meant the
the
religion.
royal sheikh. No.
She always had that in her mind. So that was the second dream that I'm happy also that it didn't take place, because I agree with my bigger family now. Because a sheikh, to be a sheikh, that's not a profession to make money of.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you do voluntarily. That's something that you devote your life to. It's a spiritual work. You don't go studying it to make money out of it. That defeats the purpose. No. So I'm happy that I didn't end up being a pilot or a sheikh.
Or a sheikh. But I think, when it comes to a person who loves teaching, I think you do enjoy sharing knowledge.
Absolutely.
So in terms of sheikh is there. So you have that inclination to share knowledge, which is very wise. But I have to reflect, Mr. Khaja, something in common again. I'm coming from a Brahmin Hindu family, and right now I am practicing Islam. So I call myself not a convert, not a revert. I call myself as a transformed human being. So I told my husband 20 years ago, and in Abu Dhabi, first year in Dubai, I had a vision, and I saw somebody, a shadow, and the shadow said that was Prophet Muhammad. And this is amazing to hear from you. And I don't know why I saw what I saw. And today, after 21 years, I find myself learning Islam, discussing Islam, sharing what I have learned through this medium of Dubai Real. So tell me, was there any persuasion? You accepted the idea of being an engineer, and was there anything else expected of you, and under pressure you became engineer?
It was a trend in the 80s. When I went to United States, it was 1985. In the 80s, a lot of people had already gone to United States for a scholarship, but most of them had gone either to study business or computer.
Okay.
Nothing else. And then the trend of engineering was there. When I was there, it was the engineering trend. And the government happened to be also wanting engineers to come, more of engineers they require.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to the Ministry of Education and I was approved to go for a scholarship, and they said, come here to select your major. And I had no idea what I want to study. They put a list in front of me, a paper, just one paper, and there were so many specializations mentioned there. My brother was in United States already doing electrical engineering. So I didn't want to study what he's studying. Well, one is enough. So under electrical engineering in that list was electronics engineering. I just put my hand there and I said, I want this. I didn't know what electronics engineer means and what is he going to do, what's the nature of his job. I didn't know any of that. The objective was select and go and come back with a degree. And if you ask me now, if time goes back, I will never study electronics engineering.
What you would have studied if you are in a time machine and you get back there, and what you think?
Industrial engineering. And that's exactly the advice my second son took, and he ended up being an industrial engineer. I think after all these years that I experienced in UAE, industrial engineers are really what required, not others.
Can I stop you here, please? What I know about you, you have mentioned that you are a writer and a poet.
Yes.
And something that writing blogs, poems, artistic side, and spirituality, all that comes from a passion. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about it? What if you are on a time machine, you go back there and you have to choose a profession and you just take this call of becoming a writer and a poet as a profession? How about that? No? Okay.
I will tell you why.
Yeah.
I think starting as an engineer is the right thing. That's the base. That's the foundation. If you ask me today what I really want, what I really should have studied was philosophy. I want to study philosophy, but studying philosophy when you are 18 years old is wrong. That's not a major for an 18-year-old girl. So it's okay to study as be an engineer, and then later on, let's say now probably is the right time for me to go back to the university and study philosophy. Now I will understand it, and now I will be creative in that field. With the experience that you have and the life knowledge that you have, the maturity allows you to appreciate those, whatever they give you, contribute to it and give something back to them in terms of papers, research, whatever you want to do. So that's me, a philosopher.
Interesting. A question popping up from here. Lots of people are talking about do what you want to do, like motivational speakers, life coaches, career counselors. They tell people to do two things. One, look what is your talent, what your interest area is, and what you are good at it, and what you are, what you want to do in your free time. These are two inclinations which will guide you what you should be doing in your life. So this is a contrary take that what I'm hearing from you, that pace and trend and what is in demand. So you think that it's a wiser thing to do first, what is in demand and trend, even if you don't like or enjoy?
If what you like and enjoy is going to earn you money and living, because you are going to be a responsible father and a responsible husband, you have to earn money. If what you are going to do or like is going to, it happens to be something that will earn you money, go for it. That's the best option. But if it's not, what if it's not? I will give you an example. Writers have no value in this part of the world. When somebody writes a book here, how many copies are sold? 1,000, 2,000? When somebody in Europe writes a book, how many copies are sold there? The bestsellers?
Yeah, writers are making big money now. It's a
millions. So, I mean, being a writer here is not going to make you much. So I would say choose what is going to make you live happily, earn money properly, as close as to what your abilities and capabilities are, and then leave. If your passion is something else, work on it as a hobby.
Okay.
Work on it as your own. Work on it. Why not?
But very secure advice to have the platform and then take a jump from there towards passion. Yeah. Right?
Roopa, when we started the strategic planning, no one knew what strategic planning is before 1998, when Sheikh Mohammed suddenly started talking about it. No one knew what strategic planning is. And then we were forced to go through, everyone in DIWA, I remember, we were forced to go through a strategic planning training. And the first training I attended with everyone else was about what's the vision and mission. We didn't know what vision and mission was back then in 1998.
And then values and motto.
And then mashallah, now look where they are today. Woo, they have traveled so far. But those days, that guy who was teaching us, a guy with a very white hair, Arabic national, white hair, I think Jordanian, he was an engineer originally. But then he was started as an engineer, but now he was giving trainings in those fields, in business fields. Many trainers I have met that give training in non-engineering field that started as engineers. So it's a good foundation. It's a good platform, as you call it. And then add to it whatever you want.
So on this note, what are the jewels of advice you will give to youngsters when they are choosing their careers, do's and don'ts when they're selecting careers?
When it comes to selecting careers, understand your market. That's number one. And select what is required. It's the trend. And don't select something that is rarely required. For example, now, if somebody goes and studies history, geography, these two are so important for governments, for many. But how many jobs are there out there for somebody who has studied geography or history? I'm not trying to say that they are not important. They are more important than engineering. They are as important as being a doctor. But unfortunately, the market, it's not. It's so choose what the market wants.
Yeah.
And then select the best university that teaches that. Okay. That's what you do. It's exactly like Roopa. Look at Quran. The chapter 1 of Quran, Al-Fatiha, it is nothing except, I see it as like application. When you fail to go to university, you fill an application. When you are filling an application, you're feeling humbly and you're so eager that they approve you and they accept you and you praise them and you go there with a smile, the biggest smile possible, with the best dress possible, hoping that they will not say no, they will accept you. At the end, what do you want from them? To show you the guide, that where is the right path, how to become a doctor, what is the best way of becoming an engineer, and that's Quran is all doing. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. You're trying to praise him. And then the bottom line of Al-Fatiha is what? Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Where is the right path?
Where is the right path? Walk the path of the right people.
Where is the right path? So when you go to when you select, to know, when you select what you want and you want to learn it, submit yourself to him, to that university. Go by what they are telling you. And I warn students of doing something which I did. It was a big mistake. Submit to everything they give you, because you should not say, this is important, this is not important. They give you a curriculum to finish.
Selective
learning. You have to finish. Don't say, this is not important, this is important. I will concentrate on this. This is core, this is not core. No. There is a reason for them to put each and every item on their curriculum. Take everything seriously. Otherwise, you will not benefit much.
Yeah, people can get degrees, but not the education and the learning. If it is.
Yeah, absolutely. For example, when I was in United States, I was studying electronics engineering. But guess what? There was a course called safety, industrial safety. And I was telling myself, what is this rubbish course? What is it good for? It's not engineering. It's not electronics. It's not electrical. It's none of those. So I was not paying attention to it. And when I came back to work here, I realized how important
it is.
Oh my God, that industrial safety is to everyone who works in any industry.
True.
So that's the advice I give them.
Thank you very much. I think I'm sure people, those who want to get into engineering and choosing the technical field, will get benefit from this. Coming back to the life and the broader aspect, now I think you have taken early retirement and now you are an entrepreneur. You have started your company, you are starting all over again, establishing a business which is completely, is it right to say it's contrary to your engineering work experience and background, which is food and beverage? Please tell us something about Hak&kak.
Hak&kak is when I resigned from, I worked 20 years for DIWA. I resigned from DIWA because I got an opportunity to go to Abu Dhabi and build same thing that I was building in DIWA, power plant, but this was nuclear
power.
So my God, this was something. It was it was something different about it. So I shifted there, and 3.5 years later I resigned because I wanted to be closer to my parents, but at the same time I didn't want to lose touch with this industry. So I established the Hak&kak company, I am a consultant since then, a freelance. I work alone, and I help new companies that are establishing. There's a lot of companies, they want to come and work here. They don't know the environment. So I still do engineering work.
Okay.
I'm still doing engineering work, but this time I am not the client. This time I work as a consultant that I used to have one day. And those days I used to hire consultants. Now I am the consultant. And also sometimes I work as a contractor now, because I am the one who's put the offers together with another team and submit it to clients and trying to bid and win contracts. In the past, I was the client. I was the one receiving bids. Now I'm on the other side of the equation. So this is very interesting and very different, but quite relevant. The experience I have helps a lot in doing these. So again, I can tell such clients what not to do. They know better than me what to do, but I can tell them from my experience what not to do, because I've done a lot of mistakes. I can tell them not to do. What doesn't work, I can tell them.
This can
it's easy to find out. Yeah, what doesn't work.
To conclude, what do you think, if you reflect back on your life journey, the attributes of complete, holistic life and happiness?
Be satisfied.
Be satisfied.
I think, look, there are many things to be said.
Different attributes of happiness for you.
To be happy and to be successful, I would say, help others. How can you be happy if you don't help others? That's one way. Help others and you will taste happiness. If you see happiness in somebody else's eyes, which you caused it, if you cause happiness to somebody and you see it in their eyes, in their body language, the smile that they give you back, you know how beautiful that feels, whether it is your wife or your boys or your friends or whoever, even a stranger, even a total stranger. That's happiness. I would say to be happy, don't judge people. I've written here, don't judge people's intentions. People do that nowadays. Leave people alone, their intentions alone. Don't judge them by what's in their heart. Judge them by their decisions and their actions. Unfortunately, nowadays we demonize people. How we demonize them? We judge them by what's in their heart. This guy is no. You judge him by what he decides and what he does. No more.
So
don't demonize anyone.
Non-judgmental.
Don't do that. Absolutely. And I would say the media. You want to be happy, then you have to be careful when you listen to media. Media has a lot of faults in it, and you have to listen to everyone and then make up your decision and your opinion. Don't listen to one side alone. Listen to everyone, whether it's media or anywhere. Listen to all sides. Then you will end up being much closer to the fact and to the truth, and that gives you happiness. If you make mistakes, you will not feel good about yourself. And I would say, honor the past, don't rush it. You know, often you look back in the past, it's a habit, unfortunately. Every time a new manager comes, a new person comes to a position, they trash the person before and what he did. It's habit. They trash everything they did, as if they did nothing right. And instead of putting himself in their shoes and saying, probably I would have done the same if I was with them. And instead of saying that, like I will tell you, slavery. When we look back to the slavery period, we say, how could they do that, those stupid people? How could they do that? It's so obvious. How could they enslave people just because of their color? Well, guess what? Maybe if you were living those days, you would have done the same thing. Don't trash others in the past. Try to understand, learn from it. But instead of that, enter into dialogues and try to put yourself in their shoes and just, excuse them for what they did. Because I believe people, at the end of the day, always do whatever they do with good intentions. Maybe they are doing atrocities, but they are doing it with good intentions. So when you look at the past, live with it.
And allow
Don't
to
take
let
it so
it go.
hard.
True.
Yes. It's good to mind people's feelings, but not when it comes to truth.
Okay.
It's important to mind people's feelings. I learned this from Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
If you listen to that guy, he was saying, he said that it's important to mind people's feelings, but if you have to say the truth and that's going to break or make them feel bad, say the truth, because without it, society will never improve. And if society doesn't improve, you will never be happy.
That's
So
true.
sometimes we break hearts if we have to. And then give others the benefit of the doubt. We said that. And be self-critical. And stop being so critical with others and forgetting yourself. Be self-critical. Try to judge your own, what you did at the end of the day and what you said. Okay, criticize others. That's also okay. But not only them and seeing yourself as God in a way, perfect. Be self-critical. That's very important. Otherwise, how you will improve?
Improvement. It's good.
How do you improve? And then be satisfied with life. Little things sometimes are more than enough.
This is where we started. This is where you said the first thing to be satisfied.
Be satisfied.
Thank
you see, on an airplane, you have an economy class, business class, and first class. All of them take you to the same journey. So be happy if you are on economy, and don't be so sad if you are not on business or on first class. It will take you there.
Thank you so much. Now we are completely into philosophical zone, which is real. This is how I remember lots of discussions and those corridor conversations with you, and that's where you stayed forever in my mind, in my experience. In nutshell, aspire to inspire. How you would like to just, let's say, give the motto of your life as a piece of advice to the younger generation in one line.
Be yourself.
Thank you so much. This is such a beautiful.
And be yourself and walk the talk. It's not easy. I promise you. It's not easy, but it's worth it. You need to leave a legacy.
Yes,
it's very important.
I would agree. It's not.
Then you will be immortal. Who doesn't want to be immortal? Maybe your body will not be immortal, but you can make your spirit and individual, your personality to remain immortal forever. Gandhi is immortal. Where is he? Is he there around us now? No, but he's immortal. He's there. Everyone knows him. There are many people that are. So leave a legacy so you will remain immortal. And immortal, by the way, means Khalid. And Khalid means immortal. Never everlasting. We never die. So
people's memory and their experiences, this is the way to leave the world behind.
And that's why, Roopa, I have, thanks to the encouragement, as you said, I have this habit of writing small articles here and there whenever it's possible. And I put it on social media. Whenever my friends read it, they say, Khalid, you are gifted. You should write. You should write. I never took it
I think
serious.
You must take it personally. I'm reading a lot and I'm doing my PhD in the happiness, the spirituality and the role of religion in pursuit of happiness. And all the religions, they say one thing, that God has given us one talent for a reason. that how with that talent we can add value to the world and make it a better place to live. I think you have mastery on the words, you have expressions, your inclination towards philosophy. Put it all together and start writing, and which is going to come in a form of your book, which is we are expecting. I saw that you are writing a book, and I wish you very best of luck. And I'm sure this book is going to rock UAE and the world. And please let me know, is it in English or Arabic?
It's purposely written in English because I want, it is not a normal book.
Please give us little information before we go.
It will shock you. It will shock. It's very political, and it's very religious, and it's very philosophical, and it explains to you what's going on around you in a very simple way. But it will shock you because I'm saying, I what's written there, I've not heard or read anyone else say it.
I need that book for my research.
Inshallah, once it's ready, I will let you know, and I would be more than happy and glad to receive feedbacks from you.
Definitely. We will look forward to read your book and probably discuss about the book itself in our next episode with you.
Oh, it will be my pleasure.
Thank you very much, and you please have a wonderful day ahead, and wish you very warm regards and best of luck for your book and future ventures.
All the best.
The younger generation get some inspiration and insight into their careers and aspirations to do what they want to do in their lives. And me, Roopa Sharma, say Masalama from Dubai Real. Thank you very much.
Thank you.